You're listening to the Frame100 Podcast, a show by Brickfilmers for Brickfilmers.
And welcome to the Frame100 Podcast, brought to you by animators who could probably be animating right now, but aren't. Today is June 8th, 2020, and this is Season 1, Episode 2 of the show. I'm Chris, known as Goldbrick Productions, here with Jared, aka Dude Brick. How's it going, Jared?
What up?
He's back!
I'm back.
Time.
Next.
With Trevor, aka Suited Ninja Nerd Studios.
Howdy.
Got Sam, aka Locker74 Productions.
I have a cosmic brownie.
And Marcus, aka Brick Hat Studios.
Hello there.
Let's go, Marcus.
Man, we got the full crew. It took one episode to get there, but we have the full crew.
To be fair, Jared's got a big boy job, so we can't really blame him.
That's not true. I'm still part-time.
Oh, I thought you were
You're the most adult out of all of us.
He's also getting.
No,
He's also engaged. So
Like,
I mean,
you have a job, you have a place to live. I can't even tell you what I
That's
made for
not true.
breakfast.
I
this
live at
morning.
home.
Just like me. I
That
live at
still
home too.
works though.
I'm just trying to live life every
Uh,
day.
you have insurance or something. I don't know.
don't we all?
But this isn't the
I have.
this isn't the Insurance 100 podcast.
This
Okay, I
episode
hate
is
this
actually
segue
just
already.
us delving into every in and out of Jared's daily life. So
What have y'all?
What
missed
time
about?
do you poop in the morning?
too much. We're gonna move on.
Did not in the mornings. No, it's more like the afternoons.
Thank you.
I love how you
Oh
answered that.
God,
I didn't think you'd answer
we've
that.
derailed ourselves, and we're not even like 2 minutes in. This is great.
That's okay.
Wow, we have
This is what the podcast should
Yeah.
we have to completely rework the title of this episode.
Yeah, it's
I don't like where this is going, guys.
no.
Let's call it. Let's catch up with Jared
We already have Let's
and his
Catch Up
pooping
though.
habits.
Let's
We have
get.
to call it-
Well, let's catch up part 2. Quotations with
With
Jared.
Jared.
I mean, I can change the other title. I'm not worried.
No need. It's too late now. This is already in the future.
This is so anachronistic.
All right, we went off way too far. Let's.
Yeah. Speaking of real events and not ones we're just making up, Quarantine Daze.
Yeah, that's a
I would
thing.
sing the theme song, but nobody wants that.
No, it's
a good
very
song.
good song.
It is a good song.
It slaps.
Did he
Oh,
hire
God.
someone to do that?
I need to.
Yep.
I need
I
to
think
give
so.
credit where credit is due. Give me 1 second while I look it up. But I know Zach did. And so we're talking about Quarantine Daze, which was organized by the wonderful and ever amazing Mr. Zach Macias of Mind Game Studios, who has put this really great collaboration together between just a bunch of Brickfilmers that were really bored and have had nothing to do for months on end. So yeah,
true.
I'm trying to now find the
Can we, while Trev looks for that, can we talk about the intro?
Yeah.
so good.
That facial animation. Is
I know.
just-
I watched.
Knocked it out of the park.
I watched some of his Twitch streams while he was working on it, and he worked a lot on those facial animations.
Oh,
you could
Yeah,
tell.
he was at
We
it for
also
a
shared-
while.
We also shared our love for Blade Runner. We bonded.
Oh, y'all best friends now?
So that's how you
besties.
bribed him to be in the first episode.
So I found it. The music was provided by Rysender, who can be found on
Very
YouTube
good.
It's very
and
good.
Instagram.
It's actually a really catchy song. I caught myself at work singing it today.
Oh yeah, it's very catchy.
I think when I was first listening to it, when I first watched the first episode, I was like, oh, what is this stock footage song? That sounds pretty good. And then it was like, it said Quarantine Daze at the end. I was like, oh,
This
I don't
isn't
remember the
stock
song ever
Maybe
being
this isn't
made.
actually stock footage.
I mean, it's got good production value for the beginning. Really, the whole thing. I know he wanted to shoot for a Robot Chicken vibe, and I think he got it. I think it works.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think it shows how much work actually Zach put into it instead of just, sending an Instagram post out and just collecting
Yeah.
emails. There was a lot more
Behind it.
collaborative effort with him and other people, I
Yeah.
guess.
I mean,
And let's not forget the fact that this was supposed to be just one episode, and now it's literally 6 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did he,
I mean, how long are each episode?
around
It's
like
about
15
15
minutes.
minutes.
16 minutes?
Yeah.
So there's like 4 of them, so that's nearly like an hour long, 45
Well,
minutes.
there's supposed to be 6 released in
Pretty good.
total. Currently, at the current date, we've had 4 of them that have released. So yeah, but it's I know at the end of every video it says there's 134 animators from 16 countries across 6 continents that were able to contribute to the event, which is insane. Like, it's probably one of the biggest collaborations to come together in terms of just getting this sheer amount of, like, the sheer massive amount of Brickfilmers together, which is great.
Yeah, I don't know the exact number of like Brickfilm Day of this year or
that's
of
right.
last year.
Yeah.
I think it was probably around the same number, maybe. So I think both of these events have been just incredible to bring the community together, and especially people who are really unknown and people who are just trying to, raise their skill levels up, I guess. But it's nice to see some low-level animators come out of the woodworks to present.
It's
their
a good,
stuff.
And also some entirely. Oh, go ahead, Sam. I keep interrupting
it's
you.
a good look into the future, so that way we know that if like we stop doing it, there's still going to be Brickfilm animations out there. So I think that's good.
Did Sam just confirm he's going to stop Brickfilming?
After Ace Brickman, I'm done, baby.
Oh no, you're not.
I'm retired.
I'm gonna march right over to your house, and we're gonna get a sequel.
It's my magnum opus.
kidding.
After episode 10 of Ace Brickman, we done with animation.
Here's the idea. I'm going to pitch it to you, Sam. Here's the idea. Ace Brickman retires after episode 10, or he dies. One of the two. The detective who takes his place, his name is Jeff Spades. Detective Jeff Spades.
Oh my lord.
The
With
sequel.
his partner, Bobby Clubs.
Taking down the daffodil.
Jared
That's
almost spilled all
Don't give people ideas. Don't give me ideas.
I didn't see that one coming.
You're welcome.
Well, I mean, if it's a knockoff, then it has to be animated in Lepin.
Oh god.
Just throwing it out
Oh,
there.
yes.
I
absolutely.
I refuse. I'll keep animating if anybody tries to do it in Lepin. Everyone's like, I'm going to do
We'll be
animation
our
in Lepin.
assignments, boys.
I'll
Sam's
make
gonna do
episode
it so
11.
Sam's gonna do it so that he technically like still owns the trademark to Ace Brickman and whichever characters might reciprocate out of that said series, because knockoffs.
You know what I should do?
Oh no, I know exactly
I
what you're
should-
thinking.
Trademark it.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking. Ace Brickman, 2 free sandwiches.
Oh,
But see, I
don't
sit
do
on
it.
it. I keep it in reserves. And then when Sam says I'm retired,
Chris,
I slap that baby, I make it public, and suddenly Sam has to Brickfilm again.
Yep.
You gotta add a
I'll
deal to die
normally
for
take
part
friends
3.
That is true, but A Deal to Die For Part
No.
1 needs to come out first, otherwise the audience is going to ask why there's a trilogy when there's only 2 of them.
Exactly.
Anyway,
I don't normally hold friends hostage like this, but Sam, you leave me no choice.
let's get away from me not animating, because that's not what this episode is about. Let's have Chris stop giving me ideas for future episodes. Let's focus on Quarantine Daze. Yay!
We could do
That is a
could
good
do that.
idea.
That was a good transition, wasn't it? I tried my best.
You
Hey, it only took a year of us to practice
true.
that, right?
We're not talking over each other anymore.
That's an
Oh my
understatement.
goodness.
But
I've
yeah,
gotten better at that.
Quarantine
So-
Days. It's a thing. Go ahead, Chris.
So the 3 of us did the animations, if I recall correctly. Jared, you were busy wowing the people over at Star Wars. Marcus, you were finishing up school. So we just had the 3/5 of us put something into this, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm trying to do the math here, and I keep getting it wrong.
Let me then ask, how was each of your experiences with creating your Quarantine Daze entry?
was fun.
That's a good question.
Let's go, Trev first.
Okay.
I'll
Well,
moderate
so
this
I from the outset, I said to myself I was going to make Quarantine Days video. We're getting a couple days before the deadline, and I hadn't made anything yet. And so because of the state that I was in, because I had still been finishing up school for the semester, finishing up for the year, I was very, very slow to getting around to it. So I was actually bribed by a certain person who may or may not be sitting in this chat call with us during this podcast.
Marcus,
Yeah. Yes, it was Marcus. No, yeah, Chris made a little bet with me. What was the date? Was it? I think it was the 28th of May, and like the deadline was June 1st, if I'm not mistaken. Or no,
yeah,
something like that. So yeah, I was tasked with making my Quarantine Daze episode in a day. So I woke up at like probably 10, which is about the regular time I've been waking up most days, because time is irrelevant these days. It's just a construct. And I just spent the whole day animating it. It was very quick and easy. I had one set to build. I had not very many lines to do, not a ton of shots and setups. But yeah, it was fun putting it together.
And which one was yours? And what episode?
Mine has not actually released yet. I have yet to see mine.
Exciting.
So yeah, we'll see about that.
Suspense. Now let's go to Sam on this question. Sam, how was your
It was
experience?
good. I took Dr. Scar and I put him in a spin-off of Vice Squad, or no, Miami Vice. I'm a Vice Squad. Vice Squad's what it's called. I did a movie spoof. I did a movie spoof because I always have a rule with Dr. Scar. He's the only person. He's like the Deadpool of my channel. He knows he's in an animation. Only he knows. Nobody else knows.
That comparison.
What?
I mean, it's a true comparison.
It's true. It's just very stark. It's very
He's
different.
the only one that knows. So I thought, what would be funny is if they put it in a trailer and everybody thought it was super serious, and then there's Dr. Scar just like, were we in a trailer?
Oh my god.
And actually, I did help Sam edit
Yeah.
that, so technically I did participate.
Yeah.
I
And,
also helped do some
I remember now.
some voice work for him.
He did one line.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
He actually
Yeah.
did the Ote. Ote? He actually
Ote.
Trevor
Okay.
actually did on my channel. I released the longer version of it. So he actually did the logo for Vice Squad
yeah.
in the trailer.
I
so
forgot
gotta
about that too.
I gotta give him props there, but no, it was fun. It was fun to have. I actually had Zach voice Nathan Croquette.
Oh, you named
Yeah.
the character.
Croquette.
Nathan Croquette, because the original character's name is James Crockett. I think that's what his name is in Miami Vice. So I
Oh.
named it Nathan Croquette. And it was fun. He really enjoyed voicing the character, and I had a lot of fun just trying to think of quirky stuff for him to do, for Dr. Scar and him to say. And yeah, Jared did some of the sound editing because I do not like sound editing. It's my least favorite part of brick filming.
Shame.
I don't like it.
Yeah, it's one of my
quite fun.
favorite parts.
Well, you guys are nerds,
Sounds good
so
like that.
let's move on.
Well, Vice Squad 47, this time it's only kind of personal, is the third film in the first episode, Quarantine Daze. Go check it out now. Now, Chris, yours just came out today, I'm pretty sure. Is that right?
That was
Or
actually the last episode.
the last episode.
Rip.
Yes. So let's talk about yours for a second. How was your experience?
That was pretty good. I remember at first I had about a bajillion ideas. Sam made it easier by taking my number 1, so I went to my number 2.
Yes.
I'm kidding. I think I had the idea for some sort of like buddy cop movie or something, and then Sam said, "Oh, well, that's mine." I'm like, "Well, I have no idea what I'm doing, so I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a plagiarist."
Sorry about that, Chris.
And so I decided to do an infomercial. I mean, every now and again I like to plagiarize, but usually plagiarizing friends just makes it really awkward.
That happens.
And so then I just went ahead and made a infomercial for the Blentastic 3000.
No.
It's just a stupid design I made.
Starring
Yeah,
Trev.
Trev voiced the client who was just dead inside. I think he was actually dead inside. That wasn't acting.
I was very dead inside. Let's be
Trevor.
real. I feel like I've helped you guys out on all of your episodes way more than I focused on mine myself.
I
I
mean,
haven't
can
seen
concur.
yours
We
yet,
did.
so
You
I'm
did
really excited to see it.
You
Yeah,
did start
nobody-
2 days
nobody's-
before the deadline, so
Yeah,
I-
that's-
I had to
that's-
bribe you, so
Yeah.
But did
It
you
happens.
savor that pizza though?
Oh God, it was.
I mean,
It
it
was
was worth
good.
it. It had to be,
Yeah.
right?
it made him go poop
it
a
was
lot.
very worth it.
I was gonna save this for my behind the scenes video, but okay, we've just revealed it anyways.
I mean-
You might as well. Who cares?
And that video might be out before this podcast.
Yeah.
It's a possibility.
Just gotta upload it.
Yeah.
As of this point,
So you
4 of them have released, and I was on number 3. We already mentioned Sam was on number 1.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a possibility that 1 or 2 of them may have fully released. And once Quarantine Daze is done, like Sam, I have a longer cut of my video on my channel. If you want to go check it out and give me some money so I could buy a pony through the YouTube subscription program.
Release the major cut.
Oh, no.
I already released it.
No.
Let's start that
Release
hashtag
the
going.
major cut.
Release the major cut.
Technically, the major cut has a giraffe, so now you have to watch it.
Oh,
Guaranteed watch right there.
What was that? Hashtag release the...
major cut. Are you live tweeting during
No.
this podcast?
This is
He's live tweeting during this podcast, isn't he?
this is
He
poor
has to be.
showmanship.
There you go.
I
have to
feel
be-
like for Trev to be in a terrible infomercial, he has to be the method actor and just be dead inside while the whole time saying his
No.
lines. Trev is the what's that actor's name? I cannot remember. He's the most method actor in the world. Like
Heath Ledger?
Oh, shoot. Who's...
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel
That's who Trev
Day-Lewis.
is.
Ah!
He's the Daniel Day-Lewis of voice actors. in
Yes,
John
I also
Stamos?
sell mattresses.
Just
Well, that implies he was acting. I think for that entire week, we had been posting the same 3 jokes over and over again about a certain release. He was dead inside.
Oh, he was very.
I'm
It's
still
been
dead
it's been
inside. I don't know
nonstop
what
for
you're all
about
talking
a
about.
year.
Like, we literally dug his grave.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
Pretty
even.
much.
I wasn't
Yeah.
even given the option to dig it myself. It's quite a travesty.
Sometimes I refresh Discord because I think his webcam's frozen, but no, he's just actually just sitting there dead inside.
Mm-hmm. It happens.
Oh.
Oh, wow, I just see what you did there.
He just refreshed
Refresh
his
the webcam just to prove me wrong.
Yes.
Anyways,
Well, I hope you enjoyed your pizza bribe in the end, and we'll see your entry in the next one or the one after.
Yeah.
Actually, did Zach tell you which one you're in?
I have no clue. I mean, that's
You-
kind of the fun of the way that Zach organized this. Is nobody really knows when their video was releasing. So
well, I think you can
you
email
know,
him and
it
ask
was-
him.
I kind of find
I
that
like
exciting.
it. Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, I know that he was definitely getting nagged by a number of people about, when's my episode showing up? Like blah 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 blah.
I think it's just people being really
Yeah,
excited to
yeah.
see their project being released by a big known brick filmer in the community. I think it's just excitement taking over, and not
Yeah.
Yeah,
like a
it's
necessarily negative nag to it.
probably a
Yeah,
mix
and
of
also,
both.
like,
then again,
imagine, how many people he had to message back. It's like, oh, this is your number.
Oh
for the
yeah, it was
episode.
over 130
Yep.
people. So like, I
how
can
many
understand
entries
where
he had?
things.
Hmm.
Yeah, there were 130. What did I say? Excuse me. It was like 134,
34, something like
136
that.
videos,
Something like that.
or animators at least.
Okay, so out of those entries, let's go episode. Which was your guys' favorite episode so far? I mean,
I've been a pretty big fan of episode 4, the stand-up comedy episode.
I agree.
I mean,
Same boat, come to think of it.
comedy is
I
just
actually-
my forte, so it's
I-
kind of the boat I drifted towards.
I actually kind of like episode 3. I like the interview with Bigfoot,
You mean Sasquatch?
whatever. My favorite, I think my favorite.
I thought it was
Bobby.
Bobfoot.
I think my favorite joke of the whole thing was like, "Are you okay with being called Bigfoot, or would you like to be called Sasquatch?" Actually, my name is Bob. I think that for some reason that just made me giggle so much, and but yeah, I think I kind of like episode 3 a little bit better because episode 4 was fun. They're all good. I just like episode 3 a little bit better.
I think the one joke for me in episode 4 is the stand-up comedian where he gives a Thor Ragnarok joke. He's like, "You ever seen Thor Ragnarok?" It was hella lit or something like that. And it made me spit my drink just for a second. I was like, that is so stupid, but I quite enjoy that. And he's like stand-up comedian, just the absolute nobody in chairs, and it's just somewhat comedy gold. And I kinda
Somewhat
enjoy
comedy gold.
It's like so bad it's good.
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah.
I think for my favorite episode, it'd probably be the first episode, just because I like the way he curated each film in
Mhm.
the order, and also the pacing of or not the pacing. I guess the pacing of the mood in each video.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the first three, where it like kind of shows you. I mean, even though it says in the title of the episode, it's like Lego Robot Chicken. It was like one of the first of its kind, and you gotta like be really on point with the first three of the show or of the program.
Yeah.
And just kind of keep the momentum going.
Exactly.
I guess start it up more accurately so you can keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think. There were like a ton of moments where I got several laughs. They were all scattered. I think the comedy night one was probably my favorite because the comedy sketch was so good. There's just a lot of other kind of little funny moments. I have to say, a lot of the ones in the Star Wars special, this is going to sound kind of mean, but I was sort of expecting, a bunch of, 10-year-olds with clone troopers. I've seen many of those films across, when I was an admin back at Brick-a-Brack or in contests and stuff or various events. And it gets really old, but these ones were really well done. Probably some of the best production-wise, and especially with the VFX. So I was quite happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of like good, maybe the animation's not like stellar, but a lot of the editing and VFX has really caught my eye.
Yeah,
it's amazing to see. I guess since there's like more free software out there and more YouTube tutorials, a lot more kids and a lot more young teenagers are actually like paying attention to those tutorials and actually practicing their skills, which is really nice to see and totally different in 2020 rather than like 2012 or something like that. So
absolutely,
it's cool to see more teenagers and young Brickfilmers kind of take an extra step when it comes to their VFX. But now it's time for them to take an extra step in their animation and to get better at that. And then you combine those two things, and that's a great
Chef's
Brickfilm
kiss.
right there.
Mwah.
You're a juggernaut.
Magnifique.
Papa Jared bless.
Papa
Jared bless. That's right.
Yeah. So I guess moving on from Quarantine Daze, I think we just kind of wanted to talk a little bit more about some films that have released in the time that the show has been off the air, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the last episode we released for the show was last April. So it's been over a year. Oh, I'm wrong. Well, oh well.
Yeah. I hope you are.
It's been way too long. We've been gone. A lot of films have released.
Yeah. So
as simply as
we were gonna kind of just blurt out some any like random episodes we were able to think of. I know the one that probably comes to most people's minds at the moment would be Welcome to Darkmoor by Mr. Harrison Allen of Annoying Noises Productions.
I never heard of it.
Yeah, no, it's very niche. It's one of those underground brick films, as Chris would say.
It's a small little indie film that came out.
It's like Star Wars.
Kind of shot weird. It's in some sort of black and white filter.
Very unprofessional.
Yeah. I mean, we've invented color, guys. Let's use it.
Oh no, Chris, just wait. There is color. There's red in it.
What?
In case
that's my favorite color.
You're not red. You're red colorblind or anything, but here's a question: if you're red colorblind, so is it the whole film black and white to you? It has to be, right? Or no? No.
I guess it depends on what you see red as. If it's like red green, well, you see something that's not black and white, but you just can't tell them apart. Oh my gosh!
I feel like red plays a key part in the story. And if you don't see that red, does it take away from the story?
Okay, so
I don't know how to handle this.
Yeah.
We have to ask Harrison because I don't know. I don't have the answer.
Okay, I'm half tempted to Google this.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
Blindness.
Yes.
Cover for me.
Darkmoor was very interesting. When I watched it, I think I watched it at work. We cool, Can Oakla? We watched it. I watched it at work, and I just remember I watched it like 3 times in a row, just because the lighting and the color red with the gray back or red. Sorry, hang on. My bad. The red accents with the black and white. It stood out to me, and I wanted to figure out how he could do it. and to this day I still don't really know. I know Sebastian knows, but he's taking it to his grave, like a good person should. But I thought it was really good. The builds were pretty good. The animation was good. So
It's crazy that it came out 8 months ago. It feels like it came out like 2 months ago.
Wait, it came out 8 months ago? What?
For some reason I feel like we reviewed it. I don't know why I say that.
Yeah.
Oh, I know why. Because we live streamed the Brickfilmers Guild Awards.
Oh yeah.
And we talked about it. So that's probably why I feel like we were. So technically, we did have a podcast before then.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah, that would
Like
have been
a live
3
event.
months ago. So,
but
kind of, sort of. You can find you can find that
that's why I
episode on
kinda feel like we
YouTube, by
already
the
talked
way,
about
on
it.
our YouTube channel at Frame100
You can.
Podcast.
shameless plug.
Yeah, I mean, Darkmoor is a great
Oh
film.
yeah,
I mean, there's not much more
yeah.
to say. It's a wonderful.
I think considering that Harrison Allen spent 5 years, I believe
5
that was
years?
the amount of time he said he's been working on it. That's
Yo, he
insane.
spent 5 years? That's pretty wild.
Oh yeah, like
That's true.
for to be able to continue working on something for such an extended period of time like that. Like I know everybody here keeps giving me crap about how I've spent over a year and a half working on A Deal to Die For, but it definitely takes a lot to have enough energy to keep working on a project, especially when you can't work on it all at once per se, because I'm sure that Harrison has a life outside of brickfilming, so you have actual responsibilities and things to take care of, and brickfilming is not always at the epicenter of your responsibilities. So the fact that he was able to stick with it for that long,
that's right.
is really impressive. It looks gorgeous. Like every frame a painting. All 100 frames. There's actually way more than that. Who am I kidding? I don't really know where to go from here, but other than just to end off on, it's a great film.
I mean, what's a film you have seen, Trev? What's another film that you've seen in the past, like
another film I've seen in the past 8 months? I guess Punch Drunk Love. I don't know. That's one of the first ones that comes to mind.
Oh, I know
well,
who that was
this
a
isn't-
brick film.
This isn't a
Well,
movie podcast.
it could be.
It's a
I don't
Brickfilm
know.
podcast.
I mean that's like I can't really think of much. Because it was kind of like I feel like for the past couple of years so far we've had these very, very big, very hyped up film releases. So I know 2018 everyone's going to regard 2018 as the year that The Cleaners came out. 2019 is the year of Darkmoor.
2020 is the year of Ace Brickman episode 3.
No, I think we've had yet to see.
I mean, it's a possibility.
I said that so assertively. I did not mean it that way.
Yeah.
But we have yet to see one of those films for 2020. I don't really know what it's gonna be.
I'm gonna say this, and not because I'm kissing butts, but I think Ace Brickman episode 3 could be that one.
God,
I'm not gonna spoil things, of course, because this is a live podcast, but there's some elements there that are gonna really catch the attention of people who brick film in certain niches, shall we say.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna blow up.
It's true.
Yeah.
I think if you talk any more about Sam's brick film, it's gonna go to his head and it's gonna explode.
My head's already big enough.
This is
Physics
true.
Top oof.
God, I can't talk. Anyway, so I
Look at
guess.
some other good films.
Well, okay. So I was gonna talk about. I just thought about this. I've kind of been following a channel. Actually, Star Wars Studios 100 turned me onto it. It's the DJ Brick Productions. He does like war scenarios. Like he did D-Day and he did Battle of the
I've heard of
Bulge. The animation's really good. It gave me a lot of ideas for like future episodes of episode 3 of Ace Brickman, to where I can do like certain types of animation. So like how to do running cycles, stuff like that, set design. It's been a really good channel to follow. I've only started following them like 3 months ago, but it's really good, and it's really good war animation, and I know that's not a lot of people's cup of tea, but he did D-Day, which is really good, and then he did Battle of the Bulge, which was really good. He incorporated some actual live action effects in it. So like when the tank blew up, he actually like recorded the tank of him flipping like the turret off of it, and then just took it out in post, and then just like slowed it down. It's really interesting.
Awesome. But I thought you were gonna say that he actually blew up the tank. I'm like, no, not don't ruin bricks like that.
I mean, that's probably what I'm gonna do for one of my episodes of Face Brickman. But
oh, you better not destroy any Lego, or I will take it.
Oh, too late, my friend.
I would really like to see like the Lego like actually burnt and crisp and like actually black instead of like actually using black bricks. That would be so cool.
You know,
oh, that pains me.
There are a few people who do that, and it's really cool to see if they do it right. So Sam.
No.
Okay, Christopher Nolan.
I don't like this. I don't like any of this.
I would say the only we're gonna go down this rabbit hole. I'd say the only 3 animators I've actually seen destroy brick, maybe not 3, 2 would be Forrest and Keshin. I think those would be the only 2 I could really see effectively using destroyed.
That is
I
true.
can't think of any other animators that actually destroy their Legos effectively.
I can't. Those are really the only 2 I can think of as well.
Like, I'd destroy Lepin for a film if I could disguise it as Lego, but actual Lego, no.
You could.
I mean, I would.
I can't.
Heck, I've toyed around with the idea of doing a Destiny brick film and their Mega Bloks Destiny sets, and I hate that game so much, I'll gladly burn them. I mean,
let's not let Chris go down this rabbit hole, because he talks about Destiny a lot.
11 v Lego.
I'll save it for the brick film then. But yeah.
I mean, otherwise, I haven't seen a whole lot of brick films in the past, 6 months or so. Besides like Thack, which I guess we can talk about in a second.
Yes.
I know one person that I've been keeping up with is my bud named Gus on
Yes.
I think he's been releasing a video every week, which I think is insane. And like with him, it's his VFX is like ridiculous.
Oh yeah,
like ridiculously good. He just released Darth Vader vs. Kylo Ren 2 days ago.
So well
and
done.
It's super good, and the VFX and CGI is crazy for what he does. And I think he does a video like once a week, whether it's a Brickfilm or tutorial, which he has been doing like a Brickfilm Academy tutorial series. Which I think if you need tutorials, I think that's a good place to start, because he starts off with like lighting and set building, and I don't know if he's done animation yet, but he has a whole lot of good content on his channel, so I would check it out if you need some good learning. It's a good place to start.
Yeah, I know Gus he's been putting out a lot of really high quality stuff, and it's good it's really cool seeing. I know there's been a couple Brickfilmers who we've kind of seen a renaissance for. Or at least, well, not a renaissance, but a return, because they've been on hiatus for so long, or just keeping up with other things for such a long time. Like I know Brotherhood Workshop just recently popped back up out of the woodwork very recently.
Oh, yes.
And he is finally back to making content for himself and not increasingly pumping stuff out for the Lego group every so couple months. But he has found himself in a return to form with Lord of the Rings parody films. So it's like he's released 2, I think, at the time of the recording of this podcast.
I think he's releasing another one.
Yeah, he should be releasing another one.
Yeah,
I think he
posted
also
something on social media.
Yeah, I think he's also taking the same approach as Gus and trying to go for some weekly content.
Which is good.
Yeah, it's been cool seeing him actually make some original, well, more or less original stuff.
Stuff that's not for Lego group.
We can, yeah, and it's stuff that we know he's actually like putting his own time and money into, as opposed to doing it for another company, which isn't a bad thing. But there's what's the word? There's a bit more credibility to it, I think. Doing something for your own personal reasons.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Lord of the Rings animation.
Oh no, you can't.
Like, he's got a lot of hard work. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was like, yeah, no, you can't go wrong with Lord of the Rings. I say, having not seen any of the films or reading the books.
Are you serious?
Trev.
Yeah.
I'm
Aren't
not.
you in
I'm
film
sure you
school?
aren't.
I'm not.
Aren't you in film school? Aren't you supposed to like watch films for homework? Isn't that your
Okay,
job?
Even I watched Lord of the Rings, okay? And I don't watch many movies, Trev.
Bruh.
Marcus is more cultured than Trevor is. That's
Hey,
what's up.
I played
Trevor.
Lego Lord of the Rings, so I know the movies.
Oh
That
my
doesn't
You
god!
have to sit there and watch all, like, the 4 hours of each film. So what is that, 12
It's
hours?
actually it's been very high up on my list. In
And I
terms of,
played Lego Star Wars, and guess what? I've seen all the Star Wars
responsibilities.
movies.
Yeah, well, so have I.
That's not
Everybody's
how
seen
it
all the Star Wars
works.
films.
I mean, that's literally the equivalent of, I haven't read this book for class, but I've watched the movie, so I can give a report on it. That's basically
I've
what
done
you're
that, all right?
Gosh.
I've done that with Harry. I did that with Harry Potter when I was in middle school.
Bro,
And guess
doing. You did a report on Harry
Yeah.
Potter.
that's,
They
Yeah.
that's
allowed
where that was your first
that
mistake.
black magic.
it's
That's
Kansas,
pretty
man.
good.
It's Kansas.
Kansas is.
I
Oh, I
have,
read-
however, I've actually read The Hobbit, but I also have not seen those movies either.
Okay,
So-
well, you're not missing out on The Hobbit, let's be real.
That's what I've
I
heard.
mean, I enjoyed the movies, but
That's what I've heard. But
Yeah, like the movies they're fun, but you kind of spoil yourself if you watch Lord of the Rings trilogy and really get attached to it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I will keep that
We'll say
in mind.
this though: the fact that he's going back to Lord of the Rings parodies. I'm trying to remember when he released his first. When I got his YouTube page pulled up here.
I believe it was last week.
Not like his very first one was like
Oh.
7 years ago.
Yeah.
I remember
yeah.
seeing that as a kid, and I thought that was the funniest thing ever.
Oh, it wasn't it the
That was
was
back
the
in
one where
birthday
it's-
school.
Oh, it's the birthday one. I thought it was the one with
Was it the birthday
Aragon.
one?
Aragon? No, it's not Aragon.
Yeah, that's
Aragorn.
It's
Aragorn.
I haven't even seen the
Aragorn.
movies, and I know these things.
Yeah, it's the one with Aragorn where he goes berserk and kills all the Uruk-hai and orcs.
Oh,
and
Yeah.
the guy's freaking out at the end. I think it's so funny that he makes Aragorn like the worst person ever, and all the orcs and Uruk-hai are super sympathetic.
But-
It's funny.
You know what I
So
actually
to see a video where Aragorn is just being a complete jerk to somebody, as funny as that statement sounds, it makes me feel warm inside.
what I like is that it's a running joke throughout the whole, like all of his videos. Like it's during Helm's Deep, his animation, and then one of the orcs, I think it's orc, yeah, it's an orc, gets up and he just goes, "For Kevin!" And they all run, and then whenever they're at the gates going into Mordor, they open, and they're all holding signs that says "For Kevin, for Kevin, for Kevin."
Actually, I think it's
Oh,
Jerry.
yeah.
Jerry? Is it Jerry? Now I gotta
Yeah,
go
it's
check.
Jerry.
I think Chris is right.
Yeah.
I do believe it's
The
Jerry.
animator's name
yeah.
is Kevin Ulrich, but I think it was an Uruk-hai that got killed. His name's Jerry. But yeah, I know the animation. They're walking out the black gate. They're all for Jerry, for Jerry, for Jerry. Oh man, like that just cracked me up.
Was it?
Kid.
Was it Jerry?
Oh gosh, we
I'm
have to
pretty sure.
we have to fact check this now. But yeah, no, it's been really nice seeing Kevin.
It is
Ulrich
Jerry.
finally
It is
return.
Jerry. My bad.
There you go.
Sorry.
I was about ready to throw down
Dang
an
it,
Iron Man
Sam.
minifigure on that bet.
Sorry, man.
So yeah, shoot, who else is there that has released something of worthy note within the past couple of months?
I mean, Chris has been banging out animations left and right, so
a video like every
Yeah.
month. Golly.
I will say,
Is that
DOOT is
bored?
actually DOOT. I take back what I said earlier about there not being like a big 2020 brick film for the year so far. DOOT 100%
Dude,
fits
is
that
Love
bill. Nothing will overtake it this year.
Chris, do we have a Doot 2 in the future?
I'm very, very much tempted.
Do it.
Please, I mean, dude,
DOOT
I mean,
Eternal.
let's
Without
check.
spoiling,
let's check
without
the
spoiling the
stats.
game at all, in the first game, the locations are all pretty darn similar. You're either on Mars or you're in Hell. It doesn't really change that much. In Doom Eternal, there's quite a few locations that
Oh,
I thought,
yeah.
man, I kind of want to brick film this. And if I can take one of the tracks from the Doom Eternal soundtrack, which is just a banger, by the way, and give it the Doot treatment on my own, then I will make a second one. Problem is, there is a E2M1 that someone made a Doot version of, and while I think it's kind of funny, it's not nearly as iconic as the E1M1 version.
Yeah, no.
So
This is all
it's up in the
gibberish.
air.
I mean, if we check the stats right now, DOOT has 6,425
What
views.
the heck?
I think we
Whoa,
I think we
what?
know where your audience comes from. It's Doom related.
It's Reddit.
It's Reddit.
And Reddit as well. Yeah.
I I dropped off on Reddit. I actually dropped it off on the official Doom Discord.
Oh, you
Yeah,
cheater.
people were happy with that. I mean, I tried the same thing with the Half-Life Discord. So not Half-Life Discord, Half-Life Reddit.
Isn't
Half-Life film?
Isn't Half-Life
Didn't
like
quite go
a
as well.
dead game? Like,
You know, I thought that the return of Half-Life Alyx would be enough to spark up interest, but it wasn't, unfortunately.
Sadly.
I'll quickly wrap up this tangent so we can get back to other people's releases and such. But I had a theory that if I release video based off of like a recent release, and if I timed it right, I could probably get a crap ton of views. With Doot, it worked. With Half-Life, not so much. So I'm tempted to try with another property, see what happens. But you know, it's just like lightning. Can't always catch it twice.
unless you're
You can if
unless
you're
you're
a lightning
Thor.
thief.
This is true.
Unless you're Thor or a Lightning Thief. Or both.
Boom.
At the
Yeah,
same
like
time.
Marvel Brickfilms are really, really easy to just get in views. Heck, we were just talking about this before the show started. Zach Macias' Iron Man. Yeah, I guess it'd be technically an Iron Man video. more
Yeah,
than it's a game.
Avengers
It is.
Endgame,
It's
the
Marvel.
snap.
Okay, that was the
yes.
title. I could
Yeah.
not remember. But, like, that got a crap ton of views, and it's like a short little 30-second clip.
50, actually. I only know this because I actually do have it pulled up right now because we were talking about it earlier.
Okay, good. I guess I forgot to pull it up again.
No, I actually I pray to the film. I watch it religiously. I know all the ins and outs of it that well. Because
Honestly, I
watched
would
it so
not
many
be
times.
surprised.
I honestly, yeah, I could see you falling for that.
Everyone's got to have a hobby.
Speaking of Zach again, actually, I know I'm looking through. I'm not super active on my own Brickfilming channel, but I'm much more active on my own personal channel that I keep a lot more private. But I'm looking through my liked videos here on this on my actual Brickfilming channel, and I forgot he did the A Marriage Story spoof with Ray and
Oh, I
Kylo
forgot
Oh
Ren.
yeah,
about
and
that.
him just killing
Yeah.
the what were they called again? I forgot what they're called.
Porgs,
Sorry.
Porgs.
Porgs, yes.
Pogs.
I was like, it started with a P. I literally have that set like right there.
Of course you do.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yeah,
Underneath.
you have like every other set that came out in the last 5 years over there.
Yeah. But yeah, I know that was
True.
I thought that was a really really funny spin on A Marriage Story, which is another one I still have yet to see.
I forgot that Zach made that.
Yeah.
It for me, I think it flew
was a
under the
while ago.
radar because I hadn't seen a marriage. Is it A Marriage Story? No,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Correct.
it's on my list. I've been busy.
Same here.
Well,
It's up there.
okay.
It's up there
Again,
with
that's a
Lord
good
of the Rings.
example of you capitalize on the right thing at the right time, and you can get a ton of views.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Zach's been pretty good about that.
You need to talk to
It's
him,
true.
Chris.
Teach me your ways, Zach.
Please.
I mean, you're already pretty successful in the Doom side of things, so
If I know Zach really liked that one, apparently.
Shoot
So
for
I'm
this.
thinking, yeah, I can use that, to get buddy and figure out how to get views. I mean, strengthen the community of Brickfilmers and animators, of course.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Yes.
of course.
right.
Yes.
Of course.
Utmost
100%.
priority.
Oh gosh.
Of course.
So this is a topic I'm pretty sure everybody wants to talk about. Pantsahat.
Yeah.
Just start
Yeah,
real quick.
about that.
So
what do you guys?
in
What do I say, Trevor? What do you think?
Well, okay. So in the time that we have been off the air, Pantsahat has brought his videos into a very new vein in terms of his how his content is starting to roll out. He's shifted away from doing more of the Brickfilm related stuff, and he's focused a lot more now on kind of integrating other action figures and non-Lego elements into his work. And I know I'm not in this camp alone when I say this, but I feel like it kind of hasn't been for the best for him.
I wouldn't say it hasn't been for the best. I think he's still getting views. I'm not going to say that he's losing views. He's not. I just think a lot of his OG fans are a bit confused on what's the direction he's going.
Like, I know personally, I haven't been the biggest fan of the direction he's taken his stuff in. I'm fine with like him being as edgy as he's trying to be, but just not necessarily in the way that he's executing it. Granted, I can't knock the guy for trying anything new. I think, you know, a lot of the Brickfilming universe needs that these days. Because nobody likes stale bread, so why would you like a stale brick film?
It wasn't stale.
No.
It was good bread, and then it was good white bread, and then he turned it into wheat.
That was your first mistake. Was white bread. You should have been using.
Here's the thing. It was more like a sandwich, but he keeps removing an ingredient every time, and now it's just a loaf of bread.
He takes out the pickles.
And he's just reposting the same loaf of bread. Like, I'm looking at the films here, trying to figure out where this all started. I want to say it started with If Anime Was Lego, which was pretty funny, and it was definitely a Pantsahat film. But it seems like with each successive film, he keeps removing something that links back to what he used to do. Like, some other good titles that he's done. Lego Thomas the Tank Engine, but it's an anime. Hilarious. Time Cruisers. We talked about the podcast. Hilarious. There's got to be several that Trev's mentioned already. Trev is a big Pantsahat fan.
I'm a massive Pantsahat fan.
But I think right around, like a McDonald's, but you broke. Okay, that's kind of funny. You're out to 7-Eleven. I'm seeing a pattern here. Right about after you watch Joker, most of the Lego is gone. A lot of non-Lego elements are there. And I don't know how to say this without sounding nice, so I'm just going to go full in with it. Pantsahat is just trying to appeal to the weeb demographic.
Yeah.
I said it. No. There we go.
He fits in.
Like I saw these guys earlier.
He fits in Trevor's demographic.
What?
Oh.
This is Bilbo Weebins.
This is not true.
I'm just kidding. He's not a weeb.
I mean,
I'm not.
As a dude who hangs out on a lot of animation servers and has to put up with a lot of weebs running around, Trev is pretty tame compared to a lot of these people.
Again,
what's annoying is they will link me Pantsahat past after you watch Joker, be like, hey Chris, look, they make the anime films out of the Legos, ooh-woo, and I'm like, that's the sound of a shotgun, by the way.
The fact that they said ooh-woo.
Yeah.
The Doom gif.
Listen, you're not allowed to call this the pinnacle of brick filming. It may be funny, it may have some fun elements, but Pants has been slowly removing the brick out of brick film, and now it's just kind of like a weird conglomeration of animation that it's kind of funny. I mean, I'll give the guy credit for trying new things, but it's just a lot of hit and miss. Mm-hmm. The one thing I will not forgive, though, is trashing the Master Chief, and Master Chief gets bullied over his waifu, because we stan the Chief. The dude frickin' stopped the Flood and the Covenant. The only people who make fun of Master Chief are Spartan Palmer, and nobody likes Spartan Palmer. So there, I've said it!
Can we move?
I think my audio is peaking.
Can we move on?
Let's take a step back.
Let's keep going before I have an
Let's
aneurysm.
acknowledge that we're not trashing Pantsahat. He's great at what he does. He's a great animator. He appeals to his community. He has a certain fandom, and they love him, and that's great. We're just not huge fans of the recent animations.
We're not knocking
We're hoping
the animations are really good. It's just what he's animating is not
our cup of tea.
And
as the Brits would say. Yeah,
we're
hoping that he...
We good?
I mean, the guy can evolve as he wants. It's his animation. But I think just in general, as Brickfilmers, you know, we're kind of losing a bit of interest.
Yeah, we're hoping eventually
I am actually mad about the Master Chief.
We're hoping that
Point being,
he gets back on the right path, or so to speak, and can kind of have a more of a true return to form.
I mean, if he enjoys what he does, animating the figures instead of like the Lego minifigures, then that's all up to him.
Yeah,
that's up to him. It's free will. It's his world. He can do what he wants. It's his channel. I don't care. He makes money off it.
Did you guys see how much?
I'm just saying. I'm not.
Does he make money off
the best change he has made though since doing this new string of videos is his new profile picture, because he has the Yankee with no brim on his sig fig, and as a fellow memer, I respect that heavily.
I don't get it. I don't get that.
That is new.
I mean, I will say it. I hope he gets like a job at like Stupid Buddy or somewhere, or like an animation studio somewhere in the world, because I think he really has a whole load
Yeah.
of
Oh,
talent.
yeah.
I agree.
And
Totally does.
it may be like a job reel kind of thing to expand his animation career into the action figures realm or whatever. I don't know. It may be him experimenting or something. So hopefully he gets like a big animation job somewhere, because he can work with a lot of different toys and a lot of different things, and he's really good at what he does. So I'm not trying to knock his boots
Knock
or
his
whatever.
block off. That doesn't work.
Knock his block.
I'm pretty sure we're not punching Pantsahat, but okay.
No, we don't want to abuse anybody. The Frame 100 podcast does not condone violence.
All right, I got
unless
one
it's
more
in
brick.
an animated format.
I got one more. I can't remember if we talked about this yet or not, but Penta's history video. Did we talk about that?
Yes.
We did talk about it.
No, we sorry we didn't
we
talk
did
about
not.
that.
We did not.
I'm saying
I was
yes.
saying,
in
did I
terms-
miss something?
We can
We
talk
want
about
to
it.
talk about it.
I'm talking about yes. We should talk about that because it's a great
Okay.
video.
His
It's his magnum opus.
His history videos.
Until
right
Taco
now.
Trouble 2.
Taco Trouble 2.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So did you guys, since we're on this topic, did you guys ever own the studio sets that we're gonna?
No.
Oh, I wanted it so badly.
I think we're all in that category of, well, we wanted it, but our parents wouldn't buy it, or A, or B, or C, we just were too young to
Yeah,
have.
that was
Because I came out, what, early
Yeah.
2000s?
Yeah, I think
2001, I believe.
I believe.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think it was 2000 to 2002, if I remember the facts that he was spitting throughout the video. Or it was 2000 to 2003
by that
or
time,
something like
I'm
that.
like,
I feel like
I'm like 3 or 4
we
years
need to go
old, so
we
it's
need to go
kind of
rewatch
just
that
like,
because we don't even know the dates of the thing.
Well,
But
I'm
yeah,
bringing
it's
up on
six.
Brick's set here quickly.
I'm kind of curious on like how he got the all those like archived videos, you know?
well,
Penta has
Yeah.
contacts. He has a lot of contacts he can talk to and
Yep.
gather information. Because I love the interviews that he had.
Yeah.
And I think he's a great Brickfilm journalist, if that job ever existed. He's a guy that loves to go out and get the truth. And I really appreciate the hard work that Penta went into with this video. I mean, it's an hour
Oh,
long?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, already, this is like a freaking documentary you submit to a film festival, or you give it to Netflix. They put it on there, and we can watch it at
screw
any point.
Tiger
He
King.
could
I
just
want
sell it.
Brickfilm history up there on Netflix.
Let's not.
That's right. Where is that Netflix
Well, I
show?
watch it.
That's what I want to know. That's a great show
Yes.
idea.
But yeah, it's funny because like Jared said, like I would have been like between 1 and 3 years old at that time. So I literally was born at the same time that Studios was born. But like even then, I still felt nostalgic for the sets. Like it's a very weird thing. Like I know I didn't grow up with the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films really, because again I was an infant. I was too small to even understand what Spider-Man was.
Well, funny enough, there are studio sets for that.
Yeah, exactly. So there's
There
studio
is,
sets
that
for
is-
that, but it's like I still, I look at
I
those
actually-
and I'm like, dang.
I actually
want
own
those.
some of them. I own some of the stuff or the
jealous.
Spider-Man sets. I was 6, I think, when the Studios stuff came out. Yeah, I have that in my.
There you go.
But yeah, I was 6.
The beauty.
I was 6 when it came out, and I was super excited, but my parents couldn't afford it. And when I was a kid, I was like, "That's stupid. Just make more money, stupid." But now that I'm older, I'm like, "Yeah, that's fair." Because there's a lot of stuff I want to buy and be like, I have a house payment, so I can't.
Yeah.
That's a mood.
But
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious how I think if I remember correctly, how they talk about how that studio camera that they gave you, the webcam that they gave you, was like not the actual quality
Yeah,
in
no.
commercials. I thought that was so
Yeah.
hilarious.
Deceptive
I was like,
marketing.
that is marketing of the early 90s, 2000s. I think it's hilarious. How it was like a potato with a lens on it, and then compared to like that, as standard definition cameras of the early 2000s that they use the film.
Well, if they
information
would,
with. I thought that was pretty.
if they would have
funny
done
to
that-
What's funny about those cameras is that there are several Technic sets from like the early Mindstorms that use it for basic object recognition.
That's right.
So
yeah.
the resolution of them is horrible, and they're just basically there to make out like some objects here and there. I don't think they were ever really intended for good film quality.
Yeah.
But hey,
It's just my
it
conspiracy
did give us a
theory.
really great line of sets that I am super nostalgic for, and I did not grow up with those. I didn't get into Lego until I was 8 years old, which would have been like 4 or 5 years after all the studio sets had come and gone. So
I think it's like as you grow older and you kind of look more at like past sets and like on like Bricklink or like Brick Set, you kind of feel like, man, I was 2 at this age when this came out, but yet I still want it now.
yeah.
And you start to love it, and then you start to whenever you see stuff Brickfilms with that kind of sets in it, or even mocks or something, you're kind of like, man, I feel really weirdly nostalgic for this, even though I was nowhere near of age on the box for this kind of set. I think it's kind of a funny.
That's just a number. They're required to put
mental thing. I guess
I'm the same way with the adventures. I mean, I just got my first Johnny Thunder, and
Can we stop for a moment and talk about the fact that, again, I did not grow up in the era of adventurer sets, and somehow I had a Johnny Thunder before you even did, Sam, which that just surprises me.
That's something interesting. I think a lot of it. I think we had sort of similar upbringings of the way our parents bought us stuff and whatnot. But just no.
You mean yeah, exactly. You mean they didn't?
Like
that's so true.
A lot of the studio sets, adventure sets, I remember seeing those in stores, and I kind of low key wanted them, but I just didn't ask my parents because they would have most of the time just been like, "Buy with your own money."
Yeah.
Like, what money? I'm 5 years old. And they're like, "Why are you talking? You're 5 years old."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I remember
that's how
like
it was.
back in the early 2000s, like my dad did a subscription to like the Lego magazine, to the catalog, so that whenever I get them in the mail, I would just look at them and I'm like, man, it would be really cool if I can get this set, but this looks too expensive, so I'm not going to even ask. And then I didn't really collect Lego until like the recent years, which you guys,
yeah.
We can obviously see Marcus, yes.
But
I thought all those boxes were empty back there.
you can't see it. Mike Ship's covering it.
Marcus looking like a Lego YouTuber.
For real.
That's what he's looking like.
It's
Just
so
to
true.
Marcus. That's what you are right now.
But yeah, I know. We have a family friend who I know did own a couple of the Raimi Spider-Man studio sets, and there was a time where I was over at their place and I was just messing around with the Lego that they had, and I saw that, and I was like, my first reaction was, how much do I need to pay them for them to give this to me?
Dude.
Because this is such a good figure. I mean, just the sets in general are amazing. So
I think I actually have one of the sets, actually, or not the set, but like I still have one of the minifigures. It's when Spider-Man was like trying to go after his uncle's killer.
oh yeah, I have that one.
In the like wrestling suit.
Yes,
Yeah, that
yeah.
one. I have that one.
So
Oh man, I'm trying to see if I can find it now.
getting back to Penta's video, I found in the video.
But see, that's the magic of that video. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Sam, but that's the magic of the video. Is like, it's triggered all this nostalgia from us.
Yeah.
Because it's that good.
Sam,
so
speak.
as I said last week, I'm working on like a monster video right now in between Ace Brickman. And as soon as I watched that and I saw him kind of talk about the classic horror, that horror video that people made with like the classic monster studio stuff, it kind of sparked me to want to try and do that. And I think I agree with you, Trev. I think that's what it is you see that and it kind of brings back some nostalgia, and then you want to live that nostalgia again. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's happening here.
I would take your point one step further. I would say that even in it depends on the channel, but most Brickfilms that I see, like probably like the Silly Penta or even some older channels that use, like, even let's go with Zach. Like some of Zach's older videos have like these certain figures or certain parts that remind me of like the nostalgic sets and nostalgic themes, and I think like it's kind of like the same thing with Penta's documentary, that we kind of feel nostalgic seeing both that and also like Brickfilms that have those pieces, and like seeing like a Johnny Thunder and someone's video instantly brings me back to the Lego Adventures line or something like that, and it sends me on a Bricklink tangent or an eBay tangent of how much for all these sets. Because literally right as we speak right now, I'm on eBay looking at Lego Adventures sets sealed.
Sealed? Oh, dude, this is
what happens to us. We're all just excessive nostalgia seekers.
There's one note of nostalgia. I don't know if you guys ever saw this or played it or not, but do you remember that they had a Lego Studios game on Lego's website?
Yeah.
Way back when?
I don't.
Okay,
I
sweet.
don't.
Because I'm sitting here thinking...
I think you forced me to play it at one point, and I did play it for a little bit, and it was pretty fun, no lie.
Did I? Was it Backlot?
Yeah, you did. I don't remember. I think you sent me a link to it. It was like the 2D animation one. You used the arrow keys to move left and right across the screen. I don't remember. It was like in The Mummy or something like that. I forgot what it was.
Oh wait, it was because I sent 2 of the old Adventurers games to Sam so that he could get up on some Johnny Thunder lore.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, well, there's a Lego Studios one. It was this big 3D game, which at the time was big because 3D graphics just weren't a thing. And it was based on all the studio sets, so you saw all the sets all over the place. And the beginning mission was to go find Johnny Thunder's gear as an actor. And I remember playing that game thinking, man, I want all these studio sets. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to. And the one specifically on the coffee level, you had to go get coffee for everybody in the studio. And they had the bank and the TNT and the getaway bike.
Oh, yeah.
I remember looking at it going, I want that set so bad. Well, now I have it. I managed to get off of, I think it was Mercari, actually, for about $30, $35.
Dang.
Which was fantastic.
So
now...
God bless Mercari.
Mercari's amazing. So now what I want to do is, if there's nostalgia for these sets and I have some of them, maybe I can make up for some lost time by using them in some animations.
Do
in
it.
the style of,
I see what you did
Penta,
there.
Zach Macias, my Mini Life TV, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, I actually just remembered.
Thought.
There's a kid that was friends with my brother. He's a doctor now, which is scary. But he owned all of the studio sets, all the adventure sets, all the studio sets, and that's all his parents would buy him. And I'm really, really tempted to ask his dad, who's still the doctor here in town, and like his dog's friends with Ned, and that kind of thing. And I really want to ask him one day, be like, hey, do you still have your son's Lego sets? Can I buy them off of you? And then I will hopefully get a lot of stuff if they still have it.
There's no harm in
You
asking.
should do it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's not like he needs the money, but I thought I might ask him because I already tried to get one of my cousins all of his adventure sets, and he sold all of them because he's a big old dummy head. I'm just kidding. I love you, cousin. But like,
Well, hey, we're professionals. We have standards.
But, like,
We're
it's
gonna
making-
ask to pay for Lego, not freeload.
so. Like, Penta's videos make me, like everybody said, it's making me want to go back and buy those sets from my childhood. And that includes some of the sets. Like, I remember I found my brother's original Slave 1 from, not original, but it's the Jango
Holy
Fett
crap.
Slave 1 from episode 2. And
Very expensive.
I remember, God, I destroyed that thing when I was a kid. I didn't even think. And so I found it in our attic at my mom and dad's place, and I've been trying to fix it up so I can give it to him. I don't have the Jango Fett anymore because I gave it to somebody.
Shame.
Oh, I'm sure if you want to sell a kidney and maybe a lung, you can get one off of Bricklink.
Yeah, but
Dude, they were
yeah,
very
it's like
expensive.
it's making me want to get these old sets, and I just feel like it's dangerous for my wallet, but good for my heart. Because I mean, I'm only 24. I'm only 24 for
You summed up Lego
like a
in a very concise sentence.
It's very true.
That should be their tagline. Lego.
For your wallet.
Dangerous for your wallet.
Good for your
Good for your heart.
Good for your heart.
Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure that's like Cheerios' tagline, honestly.
Bad for your wallet, good for your heart. Yeah, I think that fits.
Yeah, it works.
I just hope none of our parents
Lego?
are listening. Like, you guys should be buying things like rent and insurance.
No, we want Cheerios.
Actual adults.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm buying Lego because it's
Mom.
dangerous. What Sam said.
I bought an apartment off Bricklink. It'll be here next week.
There you go.
So yeah, thanks Penta. Your really in-depth breakdown of the old studio sets has gotten us all to go bankrupt. I hope you're proud of yourself.
I
hope
you're
you're
also-
happy.
I'm also gonna
It's all
throw.
part of the plan.
I'm also gonna throw out a quick shout out to Penta and Williams podcast because they're making me really examine my animations because they go back and look at older animations with their guest, and I've gone back and look at a couple of them, and they're just so good. And it's stuff I slept on when I was a kid, and so now I'm like really into it. So I got to give. He's helping me with not with just older Lego, but actually making me watch older animations. So Penta, you keep doing you, man. William, you keep doing you, man. Everybody else,
Absolutely.
everybody else, just you do you. Everybody just stay being you.
And I think that's one of the nice things about the fact that, you know, we're all stuck indoors and everything is this interaction and collaboration between people has really helped for all of us to kind of stay focused on, you know, creating more. Somebody creates something and inspires another person to create something in that same vein. They bring something new to the table, and that in turn inspires other people to do other stuff. And it's this really cool cycle that I think we've been seeing really come full circle nowadays, with just how much everybody's trying to work on making things. So it's very neat.
I'm really
Wholehearted
happy.
agreement.
I'm actually, even though quarantine's been, we talked about this last week, but I know quarantine's kind of sucked for everybody, but I actually haven't hated it that much. I mean, it hasn't changed my day-to-day life, and it's helped me focus on my animations with my mock. Like, I've been trying to get into mock building, so I can't say anything bad about quarantine. But, I mean, it may not be the same for all of you, because, I mean, y'all live in, I just said y'all, that kind of shows where I'm at. It kind of, oh, sorry, go ahead, Chris.
I think we're all sort of in similar positions. I mean, granted, it hasn't been easy. I think we'd be lying to ourselves if we said that, you know, there was no inconvenience and no problem. I do agree with Trev. It's allowed us to grow as a community, grow with our talents, you know, focus our endeavors and efforts. I think of all the VCs that we have had. I can't think of how many we've had since this whole thing started. And we have all gotten so far ahead in our animations, which I think is just awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So
we've even at
silver
least
lining, I
prompted
guess?
people
I
to
don't know.
animate on days that we originally weren't planning on doing it.
Even if you had to bribe them.
Oh my
Even
god!
if you,
I want to tell the
especially
story
if you
so
have
bad,
problem.
Trev. I'm going to wait on your timing.
All right. Well, does anybody have anything else they want to discuss, or are we good? I mean, do we have anything else? Marcus, Trev, Jared, Chris,
Nope.
me, Ned.
I think we can
Ned,
end it
do we
off.
have
man.
any-
Last minute
you wanna add?
epiphanies.
She's asleep. Okay.
Ned,
No.
you can't even
No,
just
Ned.
spark, Ned, just once.
No, she just had surgery. She's a little drugged right now, so
Okay,
she's
that's
fine.
fair. Frame100's mascot, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll post a pic. We'll put it on the Twitter page so everybody can see our mascot.
Hey, there we go.
So yeah,
Anyways,
thank you everybody for joining us for another episode of the Frame100 Podcast. We're excited to keep rolling these out to you.
I thought Chris was doing the outro. He's the one that.
Well,
brought us in.
I decided
Like
to
a
take
formal
over,
outro.
so deal with it.
do you even have the script?
It's because Trev likes to interrupt people.
That is
he has to
true.
take over.
Yes, that's
All right,
Ouch.
so
fine.
Chris,
Take it away.
take us out.
I'm the one with the script here. I mean, I make this up off the top of my head every time.
Don't I mean
Mention
yes?
our
We don't-
platforms.
We don't have scripts.
I will in the script that I
Good.
don't have.
Got to make an antidote here on.
Thanks for Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
go ahead,
all right.
There
Chris,
we
you're
go. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Frame100 Podcast. If you have any thoughts on any of the topics we discussed today, please leave us a comment or tag us on Twitter with hashtag Frame100 Podcast. We'd also like to thank Lots of Toast for the awesome theme music. Go check out his channel and please support his work. If you want to hear more from us, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes, or by visiting anchor.fm/frame100. Until then, stay tuned for our next episode and keep brick filming.